Well, good evening and welcome to the premiere of Ask Dr. Jenny. It is Health and Wellness Wednesday, and I welcome everybody to our premiere event with the fabulous Dr. Jenny. And we're going to be taking your questions this evening. And I would like you to write down some questions. Health related, we're going to be talking about depression this evening. And I want to tell you how proud I am that we're able to bring this broadcast to you. Very excited about it. Let me just tell you a little bit about Dr. Jenny. And we announced it today, uh, have appointed her as the chairman of the Medical Advisory Board. And she is now going to advise the LWN Foundation on medically related issues. And I am so excited about that. Uh, we've known each other for a little bit now. She is my personal doctor, and she's going to help us. So get your questions together. And remember to do this: share this video out, share it to the friends, share it to the groups that you belong to. And there's going to be some great information. You might be dealing with depression, possibly, or you might know somebody that's dealing with depression. It's pretty prevalent right now. Well, with this self-isolation, social distancing, maybe you've lost your job, or your wife's lost a job, someone. Bottom line is that there's a lot of stressors going on in today's world. And so we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be looking for providing some serious, solid answers for you. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Dr. Jenny. She is a local Sarasota, Florida. That's where we are. That's where you are too, with me. And she's a naturopathic doctor, and she provides alternative medical solutions. And we've appointed her to the board of directors for the LWN Foundation. And she's a clinical research associate and chief executive officer at the Age Vital Health and Wellness Center, as well as a pharmacy right here on Main Street in Sarasota. And she was selected as the top naturopathic doctor with respect to stem cell and cannabinoid, excuse me, I'll get that right, therapy by the International Association of Top Professionals and Top Naturopath Doctor of the Year for 2019. So she is very, very well educated. She's got over 2 decades of professional service in the healthcare industry, and she's proven that she's an accomplished professional in this area of health and wellness. She demonstrates not only success as a health and wellness expert and an educator, but she's also applied her expertise to the art of public speaking and educating physicians as well. She's lectured globally on the endocannabinoid system and the functional integrative health care that goes with that. And she's a charismatic television personality and a producer with regular appearances on ABC, NBC, TBN, CBS, CW, and the Lifetime channel. And so, as one of the top influencers in the healthcare industry, she's also a mother of four beautiful children, and she's a woman of faith, a celebrated TV personality, and a speaker as well. And with a kind heart and compassion, she educates her patients as well as doctors in the medical community on treating the body by testing with the body for deficiencies and then determining what will be the next method of a solution to help you get healthier. And that's what it's all about, getting healthy. So the collaboration between Dr. Jenny and the LWN Live with Nature Foundation, it's groundbreaking. It really is. We're going to be a groundbreaker in the healthcare industry. Our companies offer the most comprehensive resources available for a healthy transformational change in your life. That's what it's about, transformational change. It's an opportunity to do that every single day. And we're going to help to educate you how to do that. Um, and so, we even have a health and wellness telemedicine line that you can call. And you can speak right to a doctor if you have healthcare related questions. We've got a wide variety of nutritionals as well as vitamins. They're all organic and natural. And she compounds them right here in Sarasota, Florida. So we're really excited. She's in the studio here. Let me bring her from the virtual green room into the program. And let's say welcome to Dr. Jenny. Well, welcome, Dr. Jenny.
How
How
are
are
you?
you doing?
Good.
Thank you so very much for joining
Happy
us.
Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Yeah, exactly. We made it to the middle of the week, folks.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking this evening with Dr. Jenny about depression and some coping skills as well. Um,
Mm.
so if you have a question related to depression or coping skills, or really, we'd like to try and keep it focused on that. Put it in the comments, and then we'll get to your questions here a little bit later in the show, and we'll answer those questions, and we'll give you some medical advice. I won't. I mean, I'll give you my personal opinion, from my experience, but we'll get the professional experience from Dr. Cheney. So, how are you doing this evening? Looks like you're
Good.
at home.
It is. Yep. I'm at home.
Yeah,
I figured last time that was the easiest, place.
yeah,
I
that's
gotta get a
awesome.
beautiful background like you.
I put a new picture up here because it's a brand new show, so I wanted a brand new background to go with it. But it's right here in our hometown. It is Sarasota Bay, looking over Longboat Key, which I happen to be out there today, as a matter of fact. Um,
Mhm.
we get some spectacular sunsets, I tell you what. And the sun is going down out here. So
Mhm.
let's just move forward here. I've told everybody about the fact that we've appointed you to the board of directors, and I'll just publicly now say welcome to the LWN Foundation. We're really excited about this collaboration. We certainly are.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
excited too.
yes.
I'm turning some light back here.
That helps. So, um, what I wanted to say is that now, if anybody has any questions, and we don't get to your question, feel free to go ahead and put that in an email to us. Okay, Dr. Jenny is Jenny at agevital.com, and you can send one to the LWN Foundation, and that's going to be admin ADMIN at lwnfoundation.org. So we'll take a look at those questions, and then maybe next show we can get to those questions if we don't get to them tonight. And then we'll try and get back to you with the response as quickly as we possibly can. So we're live streaming, Dr. Jenny. We're live streaming to the LWN Foundation page on Facebook. We're streaming to the lwnfoundation.org. And
Mhm.
we're also going straight to the LWN Foundation on YouTube. And so this is pretty exciting.
It is exciting, super exciting. We're
Yeah,
going to be attacking depression today, aren't we?
we are. We are. So there's a lot of people out there that are suffering from depression. And I know that personally I have suffered from depression in the past. I know that there's different, let's say, levels, because of course I'm not the professional, you are. But back in the day, I'm just going to tell some honesty here because I've shared it before. But
Mhm.
back in the day, I had been on regular pharma medicine. I'd been diagnosed with mild bipolar disorder, and I say today, no wonder, because of my at my that stage in my life, I was, and I was either drinking, or then I was, if I wasn't drinking, I'm probably doing drugs, and I just substituted one for the other. And it's like, so, I was really not happy with myself. So it was no wonder that I was in depression state.
Mhm.
But I felt so whacked out from the medications that they were giving me. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't do that. But
Mhm.
I feel like today, I don't need those types of medications at all. I'm happy. I enjoy my life. And so maybe we can talk about that. There are different levels of depression. Maybe you can speak to that.
Yeah, there's different types of depressions, and everybody experiences, Stephen, depression a little bit differently. I too, in the past, have suffered from depression, especially after giving birth to babies. You have the postpartum depression, and
Hmm.
I think not enough women come out and talk about it and I'm happy I went through it because I was able to. Uh, navigate through that going, oh my gosh, I'm a happy person. What are these feelings? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Because it's a physiologic takeover of your body. It's not you. And a lot of marriages end because of depression because someone is silent and the other person doesn't really recognize the symptoms, especially in women when
Okay.
they're going through depression, postpartum depression. And those symptoms can range from wanting to, commit suicide, feeling worthless or guilty,
Hmm.
trouble concentrating and making decisions. Like I said, it's mental and physiological. You have trouble sleeping or
What what's going on in the body? That's what I wanted to know. Okay, so
there's a
something's
majority,
happening
yeah, there's
with
a
your body.
majority of different things that are happening in the body with depression. Sorry, you keep seeing my head
That's
like a
okay.
little fly going.
And I just realized I hadn't plugged the computer in, so I was gonna, like, die. It's like, "Oh, don't do that to me." It's like, "Oh, it'd be something." Um, yes, so there's
And people need to
chemicals
do
are
it.
whacked out or something in the
Yeah,
body, right?
depressive individually, the depression individually, because it could be associated with an endocrine disorder. It could be a lack of progesterone or testosterone or GHT or pregnenolone. These are all endocrine hormones, adrenal hormones. It just means your body needs to reset, reboot. It could be a
Mm,
deficiency in amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks to everything.
okay.
It could be a deficiency in cannabinoids. People tend to be very depleted in cannabinoids, and we have receptors for that. Cannabinoids is what you find abundantly in the cannabis plant. So marijuana, yes,
Mm,
marijuana
right.
is a wonderful thing for depression.
Mhm.
You could have deficiencies in electrolytes or nutrients. You can be deficient in probiotics. So, everybody, depending on their physiology, their biochemical individuality, can suffer from depression because of a deficiency, a lack of these certain types of nutrients or hormones in the system. And we can easily test for those deficiencies. And
Mhm.
mainstream medicine, or they're just so quick to write for the Xanax, the Prozac, the Wellbutrin. And Stephen, I got news for you. We're not
What?
deficient in Xanax.
I know.
We're not
So
deficient
you're
in
gonna really disappoint maybe some people out there. I don't know.
it's like, no, let's go take a look to see what my Wellbutrin levels
I
are. How are my Prozac levels doing, doctor? You
yes,
know?
you made me think of, Mother's Little Helper back in the day, back in, I'm dating myself now, I guess, but back in the day, let's just say that, it was the little blue pills, and I've even tried to remember what the heck they're called, because they gave them to mom when she was depressed, and, gosh, I can't even think of the darn name of them now, but it doesn't really matter. It's just it's a pill, and I think you use this term a lot, Band-Aids for boo-boos.
Band-Aids for boo-boos. It's America's got so many Band-Aids for boo-boos, and it's just a quick fix. Here's your pill. Everybody knows the drill when they go to the doctor's office. They wait in the waiting room for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, some practices an hour. And then when they finally see the doctor, they spend, yay, 2 minutes to 10 minutes after waiting an hour. And the doctor already knows exactly what he's going to write for. He gives them this little happy pill, right? That we have absolutely no grounds to be prescribing. And these drugs are so toxic. They're addictive, number one. They cause neuropsychiatric disorders. They're damaging the basal ganglia. They're damaging the prefrontal cortex. It's literally rewiring your brain chemistry for the worse. So you're taking something that's going to push you further off of the cuckoo train than you were
Uh,
originally. It's not
yeah.
getting to the root cause. And this is
Well,
why people progress and they're not getting better and they become addicted. And it's so hard for them to get off of these medications because our medical system is so flawed right now. People don't have access, easy access. And I'm so glad that we have this show to be able to tell the consumer there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it doesn't have to be with Prozac and Xanax and Wellbutrin. You don't have to take Adderall for attention deficit disorder. You don't have to take your Valium.
that's what I
There's
was
other
thinking of. I knew it would come up sooner or
B12,
later. Valium.
vitamin D, right? And these are levels that can be quantified, that can be dosable, and you can actually test to see if you're deficient in it. After baby number 4, because I have 4 kids, oh my
Mhm.
God, my
That's hard to
bones
believe.
hurt so bad, Stephen. It was terrible. My staff was like, oh my gosh, but you're going to recover from this because you know exactly what to do. My body ached, my bones hurt so bad, everything. My children were squeezing my arms. And so I went to my doctor. I have a neurologist, a colleague. I see my own colleagues because it's best to go and see a doctor and not, diagnose yourself. It's you go and see a healthcare professional. I told my doctor, my neurologist, a really good friend of mine, test my levels and let's see what this, is my vitamin D levels. I was a 7. My vitamin D level
Wow.
was 7 when you're supposed to be 90 to 100.
Wow.
I
Just
was like a walking vampire. So yeah, no
deficient.
wonder I was feeling depressed after baby number 4. There was nothing supporting my skeletal
Well,
structure. There was nothing supporting my muscular structure. There was nothing supporting my immune system either.
well, is that because when you have a baby, all your nutrients that you've got are being transferred to the baby, and so then you end up lacking the things that you need to have because of the birth, and it's transferring to the baby? Is that how that works?
That's exactly correct. These little
Mhm.
babies that we're growing are sucking mommy dry. They're taking everything. They're taking your
Right.
calcium, your potassium, your electrolytes, all of the goodies that they need to grow into this delicious little creature that comes out
Right.
and just changes your life forever. And it's so worth it. But women then get tossed aside and everyone's focused on this tiny little creature, this new little human being, and nobody is going to assess the female instantly. The female for pain is given opiates right after delivery. They can refuse that. They don't need opiates after delivery or NSAIDs, right? That increases
Mhm.
their chances of killing their baby. That's SIDS, mother breastfeeding a child after delivering
Mm.
a baby, taking opiates, and then they fall asleep and they suffocate the baby because they can't wake up. They're knocked out from this medication.
Right.
And those medications destroy the endocrine system and causes depression because it's taking away from a different part of the body. So there you have medically induced or pharmaceutically induced depression from a medication,
Yeah.
right? So
You can't win like that. Now, what would be the things that you would wanna do then? Let's just deal with, okay, right after childbirth, we're dealing with women that might be
postpartum,
experiencing
yeah, postpartum depression immediately. Look at your
postpartum
hormones.
depression.
I
What
mean,
what what would you suggest for them to do at that point then?
2 weeks after a woman delivers their baby, they should go to their OBGYN and look at their hormone levels. And they're
Right.
going to find once they test their thyroid. So check for thyroid antibodies. Look for the free T3, free T4 levels. That's the free the thyroid medications, thyroid stimulating hormone, and then also looking for progesterone, testosterone,
Mhm.
estrogen, DHEA, pregnenolone, growth hormone, even melatonin. There's a
Tons of
company
stuff.
named ZRT Laboratories that I work with. I carry those kits. They can ship the hormone testing kits right to you, or you can get them from the pharmacy,
Yeah,
and we ship those kits right to them. And
excellent.
they have different levels of hormone testing. You can be as comprehensive as you want to be. I always recommend being super comprehensive, especially after you just went into battle. And
So
delivering a baby is like going into battle. You're left
now,
a
so would the smart
kitty
thing
cat.
to do, especially these days, I mean, some doctors even close their doors, they're not even seeing patients. Um, so this is where the telemedicine line comes in, right? So that
Yeah,
people could actually call that telemedicine line and talk to a doctor, and then they can make a decision as to what needs to happen next. And then the pharmacy can fill a prescription for them and you can ship it right on out.
that's exactly how it
Yes.
works with telemedicine. You can do it in the comfort of your own home, just like we're doing right now. We're talking, we're live streaming
Right.
right now, getting
Yes.
free advice, health advice, which is phenomenal because we need more of that.
Yes. Yes.
But yes, once those results come in, then you can get a prescription that's customized to you. And men can do it too. Men suffer from depression. When a man doesn't have testosterone, he absolutely has no drive, no vision, no libido, right? He starts to lose his muscle. he starts to get forgetful, and
Yep.
that's not something that men want to suffer with.
Right.
I've been married
And you
for
get
18 years. I remembered when my husband's ex-husband's levels were going up and down.
right, right, right. And then for myself, I just found myself ending up isolating, to be
Mhm.
honest, and sleeping a whole bunch, because of course when I'm sleeping, that was, less stressful than being awake, obviously. And then
Yeah,
for myself, I was looking for that, and I'm just going to say it because it's the way I see it. Is that it was a cop out, using alcohol or drugs to try and mask it and try and take my mind somewhere else, and
mhm,
the repercussions of making poor choices like that sucked. That
mhm,
made me even hate myself more. It's
mhm.
like, okay, so don't do that stuff. Take healthy things, get into a
Don't
healthy routine, and by God, we can get out of that kind of hole.
and that's
Um,
just as bad as going to a pill. A quick little Band-Aid for a boo-boo, masking the problem. That's not the
yeah,
answer.
it isn't.
So,
I
and
don't believe it
drinking
is.
too much alcohol can cause depression as well because it's stripping you away from your B complex. That's the number one thing. When
Oh,
you're drinking alcohol, it's affecting your brain. It is
yeah,
one of the most toxic things you can do to your body. So, and if you're
I
doing
believe
it
it.
consistently, you're compromising your neurotransmitters, you're compromising your electrolytes, and you're destroying your red blood cells. So, if you are a drinker and you enjoy to partake in a cocktail or
Hmm.
a glass of wine, which is a lot better. Having a glass of wine is a lot better than having a cocktail, believe it or not, because you're getting some antioxidants at least with the cocktail. But you
Right, the
can
wine's
replenish
good
your
for you.
body. You can replenish those probiotics that you're destroying with the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just the abuse of certain,
Yes, exactly.
liquors. That's
Right.
what I'm trying to educate because I like to have a glass of wine here and there, but
Right.
my refrigerator is stocked full of probiotics and my
Yeah.
B12 complex and my growth hormone, my amino acids.
Well, I've got a few things now too. As a matter of fact, I am going to need to get some more probiotic,
Mhm,
because I've gone through that.
mhm,
But yes, I mean, I'm doing the same thing too as well because for me, I just made a conscious decision. It's time to start taking care of myself so that I don't
mhm,
end up um, falling into a depression. And I do it with this healthy routine that I do every day too as well. Now,
mhm,
what I wanted to do as well for everybody is just, and I'm sure some of you know, some of you might not know, but I did write down the definitions of depression. Depression is a feeling of severe despondency and dejection. Uh, And
mhm,
dejection is a sad or depressed state. Despondency being a state of low spirits caused by a loss of hope or courage. And I like that it says courage because
mhm,
it is about stepping into our fear and taking a risk.
mhm,
Because it's certainly comfortable just to, okay, that's fine. It sucks. Life sucks. Whatever. I'm okay at some point, and I think I've been there, you just, okay, that's the way it's going to be, and
mhm.
it's like, but are you really happy? I don't think so, you
Right.
know?
And it's not you can be spiritually happy and content, but your body
Yes,
can be out of alignment. You have to
right,
treat your body like a car. If you feed your car garbage, it's going to run like garbage, right?
exactly.
So our
Yeah,
bodies are the same way. And you can have, like you said, different types of depressive disorders. You have major depression,
right,
different levels of how well are you taking care of your body. And people progress because they're taking the wrong things. You have the persistent depressive disorders, bipolar disorder, with depression, seasonal affective disorders with depression. And that's, based on the weather. If you live in cold states, I mean,
right,
if you have no sunlight, yes, you're going to have seasonal depression because there's no sunlight. You're not going outside. You have overcast all the time. Psychotic depression, you have the postpartum depression, which I had. Regardless of what type of depression it is, the symptoms are very much the same. The premenstrual dysphoric depression, which is the PMDD depression,
hmm,
with women with really heavy flows, really heavy cycles because they're bleeding too much. And of course, when you're losing all that blood, you're losing all your iron and your
right,
B12 and your B comp. Of course, they're depressed because there's nothing there to support their body.
makes sense.
So,
absolutely makes sense. So what
mhm,
we need to do is we need to feed our body the good nutrients, the things,
yep,
and
and
replace those, um, vitamins. And the terminology. I'm learning the terminology, but you need the probiotics because I think we start with that, don't you? Do you just start with that, Dr. Jenny? Probiotics and getting that gut healthy first, type of
yeah,
thing.
getting your gut in balance. Everybody, children, adults, elderly, no matter what age you are, you should be on a fully systemic probiotic, a 15 strain probiotic. And probiotics are like little intestinal bees. Just like bees manufacture honey, you have probiotics that manufacture certain nutrients as well, like B12. This
Right,
is where you find B12 is in your gut.
right.
A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
So
Uh,
if you have no good bacteria
well,
manufacturing
now,
this B12, there's nothing to support your cells. And B12
right.
is phenomenal for depression and mood disorders. So it's all neuropsychiatric disorders, whether it's bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, insomnia, migraines, erectile dysfunction. That's all neuropsychiatric disorders. They all have similar, treatment therapies. So B12 is a huge one
Oh,
for
okay.
depression. And you have to
And
make sure that our customers, the consumers, right,
yeah,
are taking
yes,
the right form of B12
yes.
because you have
And
synthetic
so,
supplements. Not all vitamins, Stephen, are created equal.
right, exactly. And you were explaining that on the last broadcast about, how there's cyanide in some of
Mhm.
this stuff.
It's
And so
you're
we
it's
have to be really careful. And this is why I'm so pleased that we're working with you. We've got some of the products that you offer in our e-commerce store right now. We're going to ultimately have all of it, so we will have that ability to be able to meet those needs for people. And then it'll go. The orders actually go right to Dr. Jenny, and she will fill those orders and get them right on out to you. And so we're very excited to be able to, as an additional part, have this health and wellness and have the ability to be able to meet your health needs and
Mhm.
have a doctor at your disposal as well. So this is exciting. I wanted to talk. We talked about metabolism. Is that's involved here in the depressive states during the mind that so you want to boost your metabolism, correct?
Well, yes, if you have hypothyroid or if you have obesity and diabetes type 2,
Mhm.
right? You're going to tend to be overweight. So you're going to metabolize things differently when you're overweight because you have so much toxicity. And
Right,
fit is the new skinny. That's what I tell people. It's not about having six pack abs. It's
right,
about being fit. How are
right,
yes, how
and
are you physically fit? Is your body working for you or is your body working against you?
right,
Right?
because so many people, are depressed because they think, "Oh, I'm too heavy,"
Hmm.
or the other extreme, "I'm too skinny,"
Hmm.
or and this creates anxiety and depression and stuff like this for people as well. And I guess you can say something, but I want to say, I recognize that it's not we want to be fit and healthy. That's the whole idea here. But if you take action about changing it, you can. But we are beautiful just the way that we are.
Hmm.
But what we can do is then take action towards getting healthier. But it doesn't shouldn't make us feel less than anything else. So we don't want to. I
It's all
think
about what are you feeling up here
right, right.
and being content with who you are, not changing who you are, but just being the best possible, you know, you. And people deserve to
Yeah.
be, healthy. You deserve to be able to be out of pain. You deserve to be able to sleep well. You deserve to be able to have the most amazing sex of your life, right?
Hmm.
You deserve to have the energy and the vitality that people remember from their youth. You can
Hmm.
have that well into your 80s and 90s. There's not a reason to be suffering in today's society. My goodness, look at all of our technology. Look at what we can do.
Yeah.
And we're talking about things that we can do with our body that are a simple fix, things that we can change with our diet, things that we can change with just taking supplements. Hi, Kimberly. How are you?
Figure
So
out pop-ups. I told people put in
yeah.
questions. I'll remind you to put in your questions if we have some. I'm just now getting to looking at this. And share this video out. Share it
Hmm.
to your friends. Let them know there's tons of information. This is one of these videos. They always are with you, Dr. Jenny. It's like if I had more time, it would take me hours to go through these videos so that I could learn and stop and rewind and write, because there's so much information.
Yeah.
And I love that. Um, so
Yeah.
Kimberly is here as well as Michael is here. Welcome, Michael. We certainly appreciate you.
Hi, Michael.
Sandy is here. Sandy also says hello from Australia to you, Dr.
Yes,
Jenny.
I remember Sandy.
Okay.
You, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
She's a regular viewer, and we appreciate her so much. She's such a she's I call her the super fan. She really is. She's so awesome. She's been watching me for years. And what I want to say before we go much further right now, everybody, is this is the deal. This is every Wednesday now. Okay, we're going to have this broadcast. Ask Dr. Jenny, and so this is going to be a regular thing, and that's one of the things that I was looking forward to is getting consistent about it, so that you can know when is he doing it. Well, he didn't do it last week. Maybe he'll do it this week, and oh, did I have time to post it? But we're getting our act together, slow but sure on my end, um, with help to be able to make sure that you're aware of it. We're going to be planning it. We're going to let you know what the topic is, and you'll get plenty of advance notice, and you can tell your friends, and they can join us here as well. So every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing this. Absolutely, this
Hmm.
is great, and we really appreciate that. Um, Okay, I wanted to talk about coping skills. Now, I know that for myself, I had to build what, I refer to as that toolbox that I can go to, and when things happen, I can pull out the tools to be able to overcome my situation, particularly. Um, it's a recovery thing that I learned in recovery, obviously, but we can apply this to everything, I think. And
Hmm.
so I want you to take, I'll let you start. What type of coping skills do you recommend, Dr. Jenny, for someone that's feeling really down? And, for what it's worth, some people might be feeling really, really bad. Or we might know somebody that's feeling really bad and that they were almost wishing that they weren't here. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, it is about raising the awareness with respect to suicide and taking action. But let's speak just for a moment right to that because it literally touched me closely by somebody that I know that has
I
a friend that's thinking this stuff. So
people
what?
that Yep. Again, it's right. Recognizing number one, if you see somebody that is, tells you they're sleeping for 15 hours, 16-hour days, or they're not sleeping till 3 o'clock. If they go to sleep at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, stay up all night. They're watching TV, and they need assistance. They need to be told, okay, you matter. A lot of people are lonely, and this is why COVID right now is so bad, and people are getting sick just because they're being isolated. There's some people that live by themselves, they don't have a significant other, right? And that right
Hmm.
there cause people not to live. They're just existing because they don't have human contact, and that's dangerous. So
Hmm.
if you find yourself isolated and by yourself, it's do a project, you know, go and be part of a blog, be part of something that's on the web that moves you. There are so many different not-for-profits, on the web, whether it's, saving children from human trafficking, doing research on, pro-life. I'm a big pro-life advocate for women. I'm pro-women and I'm pro-baby.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
doing projects, and not just projects, that advocate for something. Do projects, arts and crafts. Draw something for someone, paint something for someone, or just paint it for yourself. Get out the paintbrush. Get out a guitar or a piano or a violin, something that's going to get you to focus on the now, you know, and meditating on the now. So these are all mindfulness exercise, like being mindful of, okay, here I am in the present instead of my past or worrying about my future. There's a
Right.
reason why the Bible says don't worry about the future, because today holds so much turmoil and sin of its own. So if we just constantly think of woulda, coulda, shoulda for the past,
Right.
there gets you, oh my gosh, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or why did I say this, or why did I say that, and things like that. They don't really mean anything, right? In the end, it's about the relationships that we're building.
Hmm.
Building those relationships, whether it's with sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles, building friends, even if it's just one friend that you're nurturing a relationship with, right? I mean, that's really
Right.
important, being mindful. And with me, I love to put my attention on someone else. And if I, in the past, when I was feeling depressed, after that, it's like, wow, I had a little baby to focus on, as a,
Hmm.
focusing on myself, going, oh my gosh, I feel like, oh, poo poo caca.
Right.
But those supplements that I'm talking about, instantly, CBD is a huge tool to
Right.
combat depression, and that's very inexpensive, and pretty much you can find that. It's pretty accessible now, but
Yes.
not all CBD products are created equal. I usually tell people,
Right.
don't buy your medications at 7-Eleven. All right.
Right.
Don't buy it at a
Exactly.
gas station, please.
Right. Exactly. And I even had a friend, and we were talking about that. And I had told them what the price was, and it's like, "Oh, that's really expensive. I can get for a whole lot less." And so I said, "Well, okay." So he sent me the information on that. I looked that up, and what I found immediately is that number one, the strength wasn't there. There was other things in it besides the things that should be in it, which is, about that stuff. But um, there wasn't I mean, it was so low grade, and who knows what the purity is because they're not gonna share that part of it with you. Um, it was sure, of course, it's the old story. You're gonna get what you pay for, right? So,
Right.
if you want something quality, it's not gonna be the cheapest thing on the market. Exactly.
Mhm.
Um, but our lives are at stake, and our minds and our well-beings are at stake, and that's why I'm so blessed, I feel, to be able to collaborate with Dr. Jenny because I mean, all of your products are organic. Um, there's no, I'm trying to remember the name of it.
No fillers, no dyes, no preservatives, no excipients. Everything is bio natural to the body,
Right.
so if we can test for it. So over the counter supplements are usually not regulated. And you want to look for supplements that say GMP, CGMP, that they're certified in
CGMP,
the
right?
manufacturing process, that they're made in a regulated facility. Facilities do make bio-natural supplements, but like Nature's, Bounty or Centrum Silver, I mean, these are bad vitamins. They're just loaded with excipients and fillers and dyes and preservatives. And not only that, they're nutrients in their synthetic form. So you want to
Yes.
make sure you're taking nutrients that are in their bio-natural form if you can test for it. And not even look for the term organic. Organic just means it's from the earth. I have news for you.
Mm.
Formaldehyde's organic. Cyanide's
Yes.
organic.
Yes, exactly.
That's a preservative found in a majority of vitamins across the globe. It's not, they use
Repeat,
that to increase.
repeat, repeat that again. It's certified. That's CGMO. Is that
Yep,
what it is?
certified CGMP. It's certified good manufacturing process.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
when it has that logo, it means that you are getting a supplement that's made in a facility that's
Yeah.
regulated by the FDA. And the FDA does regulate the good and the bad. So because they do have, they approve bio-natural supplements and they approve
Hmm.
the synthetic supplements as well. But at least you know that it's being regulated, and you want to get supplements that are non-GMO. So non-GMO meaning there was no genetic modification
Hmm.
of that supplement. You're getting a bio-natural supplement. You're not getting cyanide. You're not getting folic acid. Instead, you're getting folate. And you can look at those ingredients. And I have patients from across the globe that they'll take pictures of a supplement and send it to my staff in an email. What do you think of this supplement with the ingredient label? And we'll let them know. We'll go through it, and,
Yeah.
ingredient, after ingredient, just to let
Yeah.
them know, hey, this is got our stamp of approval. Because there are some good supplements out there. There's a handful of
Well,
them.
All of yours are good, that's clear, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Um, but, not everybody will come to us necessarily to get these supplements. I mean, if you want high quality supplements, you can reach out to us. We do have them. That's clearly the case.
yeah,
Um,
and I love
it
that Vital Plus line. The Vital Plus line is everything is non-GMO, and it is, has the organic certification as well, but there's no fillers and there's no dyes. It's a 100% unadulterated nutrients.
there you go. So we can help you with your depression. We certainly can. I wanted to share some of the coping skills that I use. I told you about that toolbox. I have a toolbox, and you mentioned one of them, and that's meditation. And I think that that's a really important
Mindfulness
factor.
and meditation. Yep.
Hmm. Hmm. And as well, I mean, taking time out for oneself is a really important factor as that you can consider because we are, even though we might be home, there's still probably a whole lot of things that we're having to deal with. And so taking a moment for yourself, and of course, you're going to hear me talk about, well, take a walk in nature, right? Get out
Yes.
into nature, get connected to nature, listen to the birds singing, just watch the wind blowing through the trees. I mean, it just takes your mind off of things.
You're
Um,
activating your five senses. Yep. And
yes.
immersing yourself in your surroundings is a good way, Stephen, to cultivate mindfulness. Yep.
So these are some of the things that you can do. You can take a walk. You can go to the park, maybe. I mean, it would appear that things are getting better, I guess is the term that I would use with respect or containing the spread of the virus. Would that be correct at this point? So that there's kind of like we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Is that what you're hearing, Dr. Jenny?
Yeah, they're thinking that the restaurants, at least here in Sarasota, are going to open up in a couple of weeks, and the beaches opened up. There's no parking,
Yes.
but at least people can go and do exercise and walk. You walk on the beach,
Right.
but you know me. I think the way we went about it was definitely not the correct way because not everybody was compromised with this.
Right.
So everyone's going to get the COVID-19 at one point or another. It's out there.
Hmm.
So the people that needed to be quarantined were the people that were immunocompromised, that have the autoimmune disorders, not the entire society, where there are so many small businesses now that have closed their doors indefinitely, restaurants, and that's sad. And
It
that
is.
right there is depression
Yeah.
is
Hey,
going to take over for some of these people that are suffering, and that makes me super super sad. And hopefully
yeah.
there'll be a lot of help, financial relief,
Yes.
true, to help some of these small business owners that have lost their businesses.
Exactly, because there has been a lot of companies, I'm sure, that will never open their doors again as a result of this. They weren't able to adapt, or just because of the nature, I'm sure, of their business.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's got to be super tough. That's got to feel like a real letdown, a real failure, and a failure that they can't even particularly take credit for.
Mhm.
I mean, it was kind of out of their hands. It got forced on them. And so there's a lot of people out there that need support. And I just want everybody to know that Dr. Jenny is here. I am here. The foundation is here. We have a lot of contacts. I mean, I know people. Dr. Jenny knows a lot of people, and we've got a lot of things in the works here to be able to, if we don't have answers, get you to the right person that does have the answers, a professional. So we're working on pulling that all together as well. So that's all part of this concept of being such a robust health and wellness company that we don't just focus on one thing. It's not
Mhm.
just about the nutritionals, folks. Yes, that's available. That's what we need to try and do is take good nutritionals to supplement
Yeah.
um, our bodies and our metabolisms and our I'm looking for the right words and I should know these words, but
Yeah.
um,
So we've gone through three different things: creative projects,
yeah,
mindfulness, meditation, right? And then
yeah,
exercise is another
and
clean, natural.
exercise. I was going to say that. Yeah, that's the last
And
one
you
on my
need
list here. Was
2 hours sweating it out in the gym, like some of
yeah,
these gym rats, the 2 hours,
yeah,
3 hours a day. I tell people just 20 minutes of exercise per day. whether
Right.
it's jumping jacks in your backyard with your children, whether it's doing 20 minutes of push-ups and burpees and squats. That right there can reduce feelings of anxiety and depression because you're getting your blood pumping. So if you don't think that you have 20 minutes to spare, keep in mind that exercise will always increase focus. So you will be more productive when you exercise because
Hmm.
it does work. And I always do that. I don't have time to exercise. I have 4 children and I'm running my companies. That's
Yes.
what I do. I tell my staff anytime I go to the restroom, I do 10 squats right after I'm done and after I'm done washing my hands. I do 10 squats in the bathroom. But when you think of how many times you use the restroom and how fast you can do 10 squats and how long it will take you to do that, that adds up. You do that every single day. That's awesome. Hi, Denise.
Exactly. Welcome, Denise. We welcome everybody that's taken time to come and join us this evening. We've been learning a lot from Dr. Jenny, and we've been talking about your health and wellness with respect to depression and coping skills that you can use to try and pull yourself out of the depression, and then some of the um, things that you can use from an organic standpoint, as well as nutritionals, probiotics, and the types of things that will help you to be able to get your system working properly so that it will enhance the opportunity for you to not feel bad. Because we did determine that, in fact, when you're depressed, it throws your system in into whack. It's kind of whacked out at
Mhm.
that point. And so it needs things like we talked about. Just refresh our memories here on some of the things that you should do, and it really does depend. I guess I think I was hearing it depends on your situation. So the best thing maybe to do would be to reach out to a professional doctor like yourself and say, okay, this is what's going on, and then you can test their what saliva.
Assessment forms, and I'm able to tell based on someone's symptoms what to focus on. So whether it's depression that's a major depression or from bipolar or
Hmm.
depression or postpartum or the PMDD or situational depression, which happens when you lose somebody in your life. We didn't even talk about that, a death in the family or moving. Moving is one of the most stressful things out there, and you're moving into a new house or you're getting married. Believe it or not, that's a huge cause of stress. When women, brides, they freak out before weddings, and then they're playing these mind games. So I have several questions just waiting the topic to come up for me to ask you, Dr. Jenny. All right, what topic is that,
So
Sandy
I
J?
don't know what that topic is. Sandy, tell us what the topic is. I guess we haven't hit that topic yet. Um, we talked about loss of jobs. We talked. Did I talk about the fact that families are fighting right now? Maybe people
Divorce.
are.
I saw an article about the increase in divorce rate right now. People are
Yeah.
fighting because they're fighting. And this is so dangerous. They're being isolated, but Americans are so busy. They're realizing now that they're home together with the children. The children are being homeschooled. Everything is doing, my children in the morning are doing Zoom meetings with their school,
Yeah.
and the parents aren't used to having the children at the house or used to having a wife or a husband that's at the house all the time because they lost their job, and
Right.
now they're having to figure out again. Everyone's having to kind of get to know one another again,
Right.
and they are been so part of the United States, hustle and bustle, the lifestyles of the busy,
Yeah.
and uh, that's what you do. And
Life in the fast lane. I mean, I,
yeah,
I lived in Southern California. I was like,
no doubt they're almost like, how do we navigate this? That's what they have to. Yet they have to build a relationship because that's what really
yes.
matters. They have to play games. I make my children play games. We play Heads Up, Seven Up. We play Monopoly, the game of life. We have game nights pretty much every night, or we have a movie night several times at a night, or we have singing dance offs. I have three little girls, so I have to
Yes.
make sure that they don't get stir crazy, and I keep them busy. I build a
Yeah.
stage. I let them act out movies for me. I make them whatever it is, even playing games on their tablets, games that help them to, increase their IQ. But people have to build relationships, get to know one another again, because they've been so busy. They're working 8 to 15 hours a day. Those are
Yeah.
long work days. By the time they're home, they're really not spending that much quality time together. They're ordering fast food and they're sitting in front of TV, right?
Yes.
And
That's
the hours that they're spending with one another is maybe an hour, 2 hours before they go to
right. Well, if
bed.
it's anything like this household, um, the kids are having a really hard time adapting to learning to do this on the computer,
Mhm.
in a Zoom. Um, and what I've seen is a lack of structure, personally, because now supposedly they can get all this work done in a matter of hours, and that's a whole nother topic. It's like how in heck does that work out? They go from a full day of school to able to manage this their assignments in a matter of hours. It's like, wow, okay. Put a lot more free time in their hands, apparently it did. So I am going to go to Sandy. Sandy has a question about, do you think that depression has anything to do with insomnia? So because you
Yeah.
can't sleep.
Do you think depression has something to do with something? Absolutely. When you can't sleep, this is one of the domino effects. And what leads to having insomnia? As you age, you have hormones that drop, progesterone, that can cause you to not be able to go to sleep. Progesterone is huge for both men and women. It is the natural volume, ladies and gentlemen. If you want
Mhm.
to calm your woman down, check her progesterone levels. It costs only $50 to test. And if she's deficient, you're giving her this beautiful pill that makes her just go, whatever you want, babe. Sure.
Well, we're going to talk about that stuff next week, aren't
What
we?
guy doesn't want to hear that? Whatever you want, baby.
We
Yeah,
are, folks. Yeah,
a woman
yes.
is PMSing, and that's what it is when she's nagging and she's anxious and she can't
Mhm.
sleep. And I call it the seven dwarfs of menopause or perimenopause, right? Insomnia is one of those seven dwarfs. But yes, when a lack of sleep messes with your circadian rhythm and it messes with your adrenals. So your adrenal glands are what produce cortisol. So if you're staying up and you have nights where you're binge watching, who knows? I mean, what do people binge watch now? Game of Thrones?
Well, I'll be honest.
Episode. I just
Not
have
that
to
I
put it
have a
out
lot of time. But
there.
I
Have
do try and make time. I do because at some point I have to unwind. But personally, I do like TV. Always have. Always like the
Mhm.
reality shows. But I've been personally watching Stargate, SG-1.
There, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
I mean,
I love Stargate, but we're nerds, Steven. We're
yeah,
you were watching Game of
yeah.
Thrones, right?
That's Stargate. We talked about that when I was in there. We were doing the IV, didn't
Right.
we? We're not gonna. We won't talk about that.
How do you sleep better? CBD oil, full spectrum CBD oil helps you to sleep better.
There we go.
Melatonin, and believe it or not, low dose melatonin is what helps you to go to sleep. No more than 3 milligrams right before you go to bed. A liposomal spray underneath the tongue. Magnesium, very calming, and men and
Hmm.
women both take magnesium powder capsules, and that right there helps them to sleep. GABA is an amino acid, and that right there helps you to produce 5-HIA, growth hormone, and a combination of all of those together is a great formula for good sleep. But I do that. I sometimes have trouble turning my head off because I'm so busy trying to figure out what I'm going to do the next day. I'm trying to keep,
Right,
yeah, keep myself structured and my children structured. And
right,
sometimes, I tend to be a little bit of a night owl. I'm guilty. I'm guilty with that because that's the only time that I have for myself.
right.
Usually so busy with clients and my employees during the day and my
Hmm.
children and my family. And then by the time the children go to bed, it's like, oh my gosh, I have 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't want to go to sleep.
Right, right. All right.
You know, read a book or do a little wind down, a little research and decompress.
Yeah.
And
Reading
then
a book will put me to sleep personally. I don't know why. It's not that the books aren't interesting. It's that I don't know. Something happens when I read a book, and
yeah, a real book and not a book on your tablet. I'm so old fashioned.
yeah,
Everything's
right.
on the tablet now. And that right there, you think of how many people are on their iPhones at night and their tablets at night. That light is blocking melatonin from being released. The pineal
Yeah.
gland. Okay, that's huge. So when you have a light in your face for an hour, 2 hours, it's going to block that melatonin. It went and it stayed away. And now when they turn it off, they're like, why can't I go to sleep? Well, you just spent 2 hours on your tablet or on your iPhone or on the computer
Hmm.
blocking melatonin. So you have to make sure you re-stimulate that. Melatonin is such a wonderful thing, and it helps boost the immune system too. Melatonin can be a very powerful antioxidant, especially with attenuating viruses as well. So
Hmm.
sleep. This is a sleep hormone that gets rid of viral infections, melatonin. I mean, you don't really see that talked
Wow.
about often, but melatonin is huge for COVID. Reduces your body temperature, a natural solution to get rid of fevers. I give it to my
Right.
children. Anytime they have a temperature, I give them melatonin and their temperature drops by, it's a combination of melatonin and CBD oil. But
Okay.
it makes you sleepy, and sleeping is great for your immune system because it gives your body a chance to replug. You have to reboot, just like you have to plug in your iPhones, right? And
Hmm.
recharge. Our bodies are the same way. We have to plug in ourselves. We have to reboot,
And it
regenerate.
is important to get sleep. Now, how much sleep would you say that, say, an adult, middle-aged adult, should be getting per night? Because of course we have had the opportunity, and I know back in the day I was doing silly stuff like getting only 2 hours of sleep, and boy, it was pretty wrecking me. It was,
And
and so I had to implement some structure to that and say, no, I cannot do that.
Mhm.
But how much sleep should a person be getting then?
7 to 8 hours, Stephen. That is a perfect number. And it really, if you're sleeping more than that, you have to, look at your endocrine system, your hormones to figure out because, and especially if you're sleeping and you don't feel that you got regenerated the next day. I
Yeah,
speak to clients across the globe that tell me I sleep 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, but I'm still exhausted the next day.
yeah,
That's because they're not REM cycling. So if they're sleeping, for really long periods of times, there's something that your body is lacking and it's trying to get. That's why your body's trying to go to sleep. And if you don't have those chemicals that are being released to put you in a regenerative mode while you're sleeping, and a lot of people don't dream. That's a good way of knowing if you're getting good sleep. Are you dreaming? Are Americans dreaming?
okay.
Think about
I
that.
don't think
I went through
many.
a period where I didn't dream,
Yeah.
and I fixed it right away. That's usually right after my children because I'm so depleted. But
Mhm.
for the most part, every customer, every patient that I talk to, and I ask this question to them, how are your dreams? They're like, I don't remember the last time that I dreamt. Well, there you go. If you're not dreaming, you're not REM cycling. So when you're dreaming, you know you're in that deep REM
Yeah.
cycle, and you want to get that deep, deep sleep. So, I mean, you can get 6 hours, 7 hours of sleep and go through
Yes.
nice, deep REM cycles of it where your body regenerated. But if you're not dreaming, you're not regenerating. So, got to
That's a
get melatonin and that GABA.
that's a great point, and I
Mhm.
really, really think that's a great point because I know for a long time I wasn't dreaming, but I do have dreams. I wouldn't say that I remember them all the time anymore, but I do seem to have dreams. I have to remember to do a couple things. I have to remember to turn off the lights and not let, like back in the day, the TV run all night long. You know,
Exactly. Turn
yes,
off your
pumping
electronics.
whatever I happen to be watching. Now, if I tend to watch good stuff, but
Mhm.
anymore. But there was,
With real pages,
yeah, that's
this
a good thing.
down, put it on, usually I have a light dimmer and I will read like that. And you will
Yes,
naturally start to feel tired
yeah,
because your eyes are going back and forth. And you're like, all
yeah,
right, I'm ready to go to sleep. But if you take that melatonin or that GABA, my
yeah,
children were having trouble sleeping because of what has been pollinating, like
yes,
allergies the other day. So I gave them a little bit of melatonin. All of them got a little melatonin. Within 20 minutes, they all went, whoop, no more,
yeah.
or something will pollinate at night and one of them will wake up and then nice little under the tongue spray.
and
And
that
so it's good to have
sleep.
these
So there
little
you go.
tools.
Yes,
Mhm.
melatonin, everybody.
Yes,
That will
mel
help you sleep. You're
mhm.
having issues with sleep. Now, we want everybody to know how much we really do care about them, and we know that depression is a big thing that's going on these days. And sometimes it can be very difficult to pull yourself out of that. And we just want you to know that, we'll be coming back every week and talking about something different. But if you have specific stuff, you can always reach out to us. I'll let you go ahead and say, how can people get in touch with you there, Dr. Jenny, again?
Jenny at agevital.com. Jenny at agevital.com.
Okay,
agevital.com.
I
Or they
can
can
even do
call toll
this.
free 888-388-7237. Or if you're local to the Sarasota area, on the West Coast and in Florida, wherever you are, 941-388-0800. There's
There's
my logo. He popped it up there, Age Vital. So age well, age vital, right? Aging
mm-hmm,
is very important for our health, but we can live uh, health and vitality. We can live the best versions of ourselves. Being healthy is being wealthy. Without your health, what you're just existing, right? We don't want to exist. We want to
exactly.
live. What does it mean to live? To enjoy life, the simple pleasures. Hi, Mona. How are you?
She's coming to us from Williamsburg, Virginia.
I have a niece over there.
So she was talking about sleep. So I'm glad that, thank you, Sandy, for
Early
getting
in
us
the
on the sleep thing. We
yep,
talked
early
about the other.
Mona, we have to look at your progesterone levels and we have to look at your cortisol. Give me a call tomorrow. My store is closed right now, but give me a call tomorrow, 888 uh 388-7237, or send me an email personally, Jenny at agevital.com, and I can send you a testing kit. Saliva you're going to have to collect throughout the whole entire day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and right before you go to bed, so I can see what your cortisol is doing. So if when you're waking up early in the morning like that, it's 100% of the time it's your adrenals, which is cortisol. And women will usually start to have cortisols that's is out of alignment because of a progesterone deficiency. And once we start giving you that progesterone pill, your skin, your hair, your sleep, you'll sleep like a rock, and you're going to start dreaming like you were when you were in your teenage years.
There we go.
Mhm.
And um,
And you lose
she she
too.
she made another. I'll put it up here, but her mom passed, I guess, in 2015, and she doesn't sleep because it's hard for her now. I know that she's been through a couple difficult things as well, and
there's
trying to
there's
reestablish herself too. So
there's a perfect example of situational depression. So a death in the family. We were just talking about that, Stephen.
yes, yes,
And the body goes through such shock, and the adrenals go on hyperdrive, overdrive, right? You have your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system just being overly stimulated from sadness, from shock, from it's a death in the family. I'm so sorry, Mona, for your loss. And
yeah.
I your mother is shining down from heaven, looking at you and being thankful for you and the legacy that she left you. So I hope that it was not a tragic death, and I hope that it was just from old age. But we have
Mm-mm.
to get you, because you're still living, we have to get you back on track to make sure that you're able to process her death and be able to take care of yourself, because you have family members and you have friends that need you and love you, and you are worth it. And taking care of your mechanics right now is number one. And so, again, I'm so sorry. See, you're going to get me all emotional. I've lost loved ones, I've lost grandparents.
Yes,
And so it's a very tough thing to go through. Yes.
it is. It is a difficult thing, and a lot of people are going through loss. I mean, this happens, and we're touched by it all the time. And there is a grieving process, and this is where, reaching out and just asking for someone to talk to or listen is really super important. I know that Dr. Jenny's here to help you, as well as I can try and do what I can do. I mean, I can just mine's just life experiences. I've had very close friends that aren't with us anymore as well. Um, it is a tough thing, but
Yeah.
there is light at the end of the tunnel because they do want us to go on. They want us to enjoy life. They really do. Um, any final thoughts here? I have a couple announcements after you, or maybe I should say my couple announcements, and I'll let you have the final thoughts. I really appreciate everybody that's taking time to come and join us. Remember to share this video out. Um, we're going to be back every week, 7:30. We might change the time to 7 o'clock. We're still working on that, but right now it's going to be 7:30 Wednesday evenings regularly. Ask Dr. Jenny. We're so proud. She's affiliating herself with us. She's on the board of directors now for the LWN Foundation. We're going to get exceptional medical guidance, and so we just are going to share that with everybody. Um, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Of course, about 6:30 a.m. We'll do sunrise daybreakers. We'll welcome in a brand new day, make that connection to nature as well as source, and we're going to be talking about gratitude, Thankful Thursday. Join us for that about 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow evening, I've got a get to know. It's going to be a special get to know, but we'll deal with all of the announcement stuff really on Friday. We're having a town hall. The town hall is going to be at, I think, hopefully I'm not making a mistake, 7 or 7:30, but I think it's at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Town hall. Come join your friends. Tell everybody about that. Emmanuel and I will be here. We're going to explain what's going on, and so that you're understanding. We're getting into a regular uh, um, I guess, schedule of events so that you can come, you can count on when we're going to be here. But tomorrow, Evan Tinsman, join me for that get to know because we're going to be talking with Evan Tinsman. His story is very similar to mine. He used alcohol. He lost everything he had. And, the old story: lost your wife, lost your car, lost your job, lose it all. But he's come back, and he's a dynamic guy, super guy. So come and meet him. I also want to let you know I'm going to let this out right now. I just got the confirmation moments before we started this broadcast, and the following Friday is yes, we're going to have a local gal, dynamic person. Her name is Christine Olson, and she started the TIFS initiative. And I don't know if you've ever heard about TIFS initiative, Dr. Jenny, but this is about getting emergency phone numbers onto your driver's license so that in case of an emergency and you can't talk or God forbid, you end up getting hurt to the point where you're not with us anymore, that your loved ones are notified immediately. Excellent thing. We're going to go into that and tell you how you can do that and tell everybody about that. That's going to be so awesome. That's next Friday. And then after that, we're going to be having Edgar Hansen with us. Edgar Hansen is the deck boss for the Northwestern on Deadliest Catch. If anybody watches that, one of my favorite reality shows. I love that show. So he'll be with us. Join us. We got a bunch coming your way. We're trying to do the best that we can to help you adopt healthy routines to improve your quality of life. That's what it's all about. You have some final thoughts there, Dr. Jenny?
Nope. Get off the psychotropic medications and start your path to, combating depression and other neuropsychiatric disorders through natural solutions, the solutions that your body was designed to take. So take your supplements like omega-3 fatty acids, B12, vitamin D, CBD, and balance out your hormones and cope. Learn to better cope. And I think Stephen is going to be able to put all of this on his website. I hope, Stephen, right? Everything that we discussed today, from creative projects to mindfulness, meditation, and exercise, and taking those supplements that I just listed off, changing your diet, because you're worth it. And I thank you guys for tuning in and watching.
Yes, absolutely. We thank you very much. So join me tomorrow, and I'll be back at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and come back next Wednesday. But tell all your friends before you come and have them join us. We are going to be talking about sex, as a matter of fact. Who doesn't like sex, right? So
Yeah. That
You
is
should.
a podcast you do not want to miss.
That's exactly correct. So we'll be talking about sex next week. We're
Pick
looking
up your
forward to that.
put on your boots, whatever it is you like to do, and tune in next Wednesday and
Yes,
get to know Dr. Jenny's secrets to increasing heating it up in the bedroom.
there you go. Exciting. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate you,
From
and we'll
here.
see you all again soon. Thank you so very much, Dr. Jenny. Great broadcast. Hey, that's all. Have a great evening. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. You too.